All right, we are live. This is Sound Booth Theater Live. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really hope you have a good time while you're here. This is part 5 of the cold reads for Dungeon Crawler Carl 6, Eye of the Bedlam Bride. And yeah, I'm looking forward to starting another day, getting back into Carl's skin and Donut's skin and wearing them like a skin suit and dancing around and, all that fun stuff, all that fun, wholesome entertainment that you guys get from Dungeon Crawler Carl on a regular basis. I hope you all had a good weekend. I certainly had a relaxing one. Felt pretty good. And since last time, we are on Chapter 13. So, just remember, before I get started, if that weird sound in the background is water boiling. We have our competition going, our stretch goal from the ass tattoo. Just to recap, you guys did successfully force me to put a tattoo of Princess Donut on my ass. Now the question is, what will the tattoo look like? What is the tattoo design? And I've decided to create a stretch goal of 1,500 plus viewers this time. That's 3 times the initial goal to start a competition for you fans to design the tattoo for me. I know, this is a huge risk. This is a big Bodie McBoatface risk, but I think I have confidence that you guys want me to have a cool tattoo. Ahmed is here today. Hey, Ahmed. He's producing for us this time. He'll actually, Ahmed, one thing that I think would be cool is if you watched the chat and, like, in case you think there's a question that is really relevant that I should answer, you should, like, poke me while I'm doing some pontificating at some point.
You got it. Yeah, and I'll just be posting every interesting thing I see.
Good. That's what we want. And also thank you for masking your voice so that you can't be identified by the public, because we all know just how reviled producers are in public nowadays, and it's a safety precaution, right? People are very
Thank
mad
you,
at
Rob.
producers.
I'll go ahead and proceed to stalk you now. I have your name. That's all I really need on the internet these days, right?
Yeah, that's all you really need. If we get 1,500 or more simultaneous viewers either today or tomorrow during our cold reads, then you guys get a competition. So the way it's going to work is, however any of you guys want to do it, get a tattoo designed. The only stipulations are it needs to be 2 to 3 inches in diameter, and it has to be donut. Now, what gear she's wearing, whether she's sharing the spotlight with another character, that's up to the design. That's all up to you guys. And if you want to get a tattoo designer who's not even a Dungeon Crawler Carl fan, you want to hire him yourself or whatever to get it done. Or if you are a tattoo designer or a graphic designer who's a Dungeon Crawler Carl fan, then you can design it yourself. However you want to do it, doesn't matter to me. Just send it to us if this competition works, and then we're going to publicize it. We're going to be making a big deal out of the design contest. We'll be posting it on Facebook and in Discord and getting everyone's opinions. No one's opinion is going to matter at the end of the day, because I'm going to be the one making the decision of what goes on my ass. But it would still be fun, and people will still be, like, talking about it. And if you all pick a Bodie McBoatface favorite, and I don't pick it, then you guys can try and organize a lynch mob if you want, or something, whatever. But the point is, it'll be fun for everybody if we hit that 1,500 mark. If we don't hit that 1,500 mark, then Matt and I will look for a good tattoo designer and get it done ourselves. It'll just take a bit more time. Don't forget about that. Tomorrow might be your best bet on when to do it. Why? Because I've decided tomorrow my cold reads will be in the evening. Yes, that's correct, audience. I know you're all very, very surprised about that. But I have been watching what you guys have been saying. I've been listening to what you guys have been saying. You're saying that our current cold read schedule is during the workday and therefore harder to get people to come to. So I've decided I'm going to try for a 6 p.m. Central stream start time for the stream. Wow, where's my brain? And yeah, that way, all the people who said they couldn't make it before, or couldn't convince other people to do it before, now's your chance. You can come in. I think you can make 6 p.m. Central, and if you want to create the mob at that point to get 1,500 people, I think this is going to be your best chance, or at least this is when you're going to have the least amount of excuses. So tomorrow, instead of noon Central, I will be streaming at 6 p.m. Central. And just so you guys know, I always stream at noon because that's like when my voice is usually at its peak. So I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm going to have to take some steroids. I'm going to have to drink some liquid metal of some kind to galvanize my throat for the evening, but I will do those things just for you guys, just so that we can have an evening Dungeon Crawler Carl narrating session that sounds best.
You can't drink mercury or gallium, but you can drink barium.
Barium,
it's not
okay.
Poisonous. It's a transitive.
Yeah.
It's a transitive metal.
Well, the tricky thing is drinking it, but making sure it coats my entire throat and then doesn't drain all the way into my stomach and like getting it to stay in place. So I think what I'll have to like drink laying down, right? So that there's minimal gravity pulling the metal down into my stomach and that it can settle and dry and like harden in my throat. I think that's throat goat. Someone said. Okay, so tomorrow's your chance, guys. If you can't do it today, 1,500 plus followers. If I believe in you guys, I think you can get something organized. I mean, what we're seeing here, we have 30 hours before that stream. I think you can do it. So, before we get started, after all that long diatribe, just want to remind you guys to check out all the links in the details of this video. You can find you can find links to Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, Matt's Patreon, the current Dungeon Crawler Carls available on Audible right now in case you're here because someone made you come here and you have no idea what the fuck Dungeon Crawler Carl is. There's also a link to the Amazon page for Dungeon Crawler Carl 6 so that you can either buy the paperback or pre-order the Kindle version. And aside from the links, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel we have here. You will not regret it because we have a lot of fun on this channel. We do cold reads. We do the standard Sound Booth Theater Live, which is kind of a variety show goof-off session every other Wednesday that we have. And just so you guys know, over the past month, we've had 1,056 new subscribers, which brings us to almost 6,000. Actually, let me see if that number has changed at all since I looked at it this morning. We are now at 5.96 thousand subscribers. So I bet after today we're going to hit the 6K mark, which is amazing, right? The fact that you guys have increased our subscriber numbers by, what is that, 20%. 20% more subscribers since the last month. Is that right, Ahmed? Does that?
If this is anything like Twitter, they're all bots.
Okay, well, thanks, guys, for sending your bots out and padding our numbers.
This person's a bot.
Oh, Chelsea K, how dare you? I thought you were a real person. Now I feel betrayed. Yeah, please, more subscribers. Get more people over here. Tell them how fun it is to hang out with Sound Booth Theater Live. And I think that's about it. I think that's all we got. Oh, one more thing. A Summoner Awakens, my latest Audible release, came out a week ago tomorrow. It is a lit RPG tower climber with a card game system, much like Dungeon Crawler Carl 6, and also a go back in time mechanic where the main character goes through a more than 100-year life, experiences a lot from the world he's in and learns a lot about magic, and then he gets smushed by a demon and goes back in time 100 years to repossess his younger body while he's still in magic school. And it's really well written. I had so much fun narrating it because the author asked me to take inspiration from Peaky Blinders, from Tommy Shelby in particular, and that was like such a great thing for him to request because I absolutely love him in that show. That accent is amazing, his voice is amazing, his performance in general is amazing. So I was able to take what I could from that, mix it a little bit with some Yorkshire accent just to blend his accent to make him sound a bit less city, right? A Summoner Awakens was fantastic. Kept me held over the weekend. I can't wait for the next book. So glad you liked it, Blind Justice. I loved it as well. I hope you guys check that out. And last but not least, Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon episode 1 is free. It's 12 episodes total. This is also another Matt Dinneman book, but beware, it is traumatizing, horrific shit. So if you have a weak stomach, never mind, just pass on by. But if you want to experience something absolutely terrifying and gut-wrenching, go check out Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon episode 1. That's in cinematic audio, which will give you a feel for what the Dungeon Crawler Carl audio immersion tunnel is going to be like. Because we are rebooting the series exclusively on our platform in this audio drama format, audio immersion tunnel format, which is full cast sound effects and music. So definitely go check out Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon just to see what it's going to be like. And you're probably going to get hooked anyway. All right, here goes. I'm going to go get some more tea real quick. Going to get some more water, and I'll be ready to go. I yammered on for so long, the water in my kettle cooled down. Oh, Celia Visser says, Jeff, curious if you can do a variety of British accents. Have you ever done a British accent audiobook? Funny you should ask. Summoner Awakens, the book I was just talking about, that's just come out on Audible last week, is like purely UK accents. I took inspiration from Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders, so it's like a it's like a blend between Birmingham and Yorkshire. I mean, like Tommy Shelby's all Birmingham, but Jesus fucking Christ, I love your guys' comments. But I did a little bit of blend. I still got like the melody from Tommy Shelby, and a lot of the delivery. So please check that out if you're interested. Also, we did a production of Dracula, and that's exclusive to our website, soundbooththeater.com, so you can check that out. So sorry I had so much bullshit to yammer about, but that's the way it goes. And I think I'm ready to start the audiobook. So, chapter 13. Let's do this. Real quick, Celia, are you an oh. Let's see. Oh, awesome. We'll check it out. Wanted to recommend you as an audio reader to an author I know, but book is British. Ah, okay. So you're not English. You're just curious to refer me to somebody else. Please do. Please refer me. All right. 170 viewers simultaneously. You guys are amazing for bringing up such great attendance. I hope you all enjoy the show. I hope you guys bring more people tomorrow. Let's see if we can hit that 1,500 mark. I mean, you guys have to do some major, I don't know, trickery to get this done. But I think you can do it. I think you can. You are all people who live in the internet, after all. All right. That's how the internet works, right? People hooked up in blobs, in capsules that have Ghostbusters juice inside. At least Kaiju has a happy ending, Very Mean Thought says. I love that. I love how how appropriate that is coming from you. Chapter 13. Hey, I need to wake up my Carl voice here. Chapter 13, Rosetta said. Let's see, what else can I felt as if I'd been slapped. It was like she'd stood up, walked across the space between us, and backhanded me as hard as she could. I reeled. All right, here goes. I think I got this. And who is Milk? Okay, so I need to look up Milk real quick. There's a character named Milk. Kind of a hot name. I think that name is kind of hot, to be honest. Almost as hot as Juicebox. Zombie says, was supposed to have a kaiju listening party over the weekend and missed out since we are all cats and got distracted. Oh, being cats is hard, I know. But it's not a bad idea for us to have listening parties. I think we need to do that more often, and we need to figure out why and how. Not why. Of course, the why is, we know why. How? How are we going to do it? Any suggestions in the chat? If you were attending an SBT listening party of any of our series, what would it entail? What would we be doing? I love you too, Triple Powers. I don't know who you are, but you're here, so I appreciate you. All right, let's see. We need Milk. You would pay for that option. Which option? The listening party option? Here we go. I did already voice Milk. That's why I have to look her up. Him or her. I don't remember. God damn it, Jameson. There you go. You're welcome. DCC listening party. Oh, I missed that one, Ahmed. Can we go back? DCC listening party. It can be a part of a book that we vote on, and then you can do it live. Have Matt play one of the parts. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. Matt told me he's always wanted to be a voice actor. Sorry, I'm lying. Nope, not true. Never said any such thing.
Chapter 61.
I'm the ma'am.
Note
Thanks a lot.
added by Crawler
Try to do your
Milk.
favor.
6th edition.
When a country boss dies, it drops persistent loot called the treasure map. My advice, don't pick it up. Over 400 of us faced the boss. Less than 50
I don't think I've ever
survived.
used this voice
It would
before.
have been easier if it had been physically huge, allowing us to all attack.
I made up a brand new voice for Milk. All right. I think my tea should be ready. I'll be right back. A cow voice, that's right! Ah, thank you, Tristan, for reminding me. That was the idea. That's how a cow would sound, in my opinion, if they could talk. Yes? What do you want? Here goes. Chapter 13. Note added by Crawler Milk. 6th edition. I used to make a stew for my whole family. The recipe in itself wasn't anything special. Rance meat, bone broth, wild grass that would grow on the leeward side of our island. We'd pray over the cauldron while it simmered. The stew, when prepared properly, would not only be delicious, it would awaken the old knowledge within the minds of the young. We're all imprinted with the root of the yearly migration, but something in the traditional meal quickens that knowledge. In sharing this meal with our young, we're not only bonding with one another, we're ensuring their survival should we fall. I can't stop thinking about it. These aliens took us before I could make this year's stew. The youngest amongst us are not here. How are they faring out there all alone? How can they possibly survive without our guidance? Who will show them the way? Okay, so this is kind of like a relatively dramatic entry. I mean, it's a little bit informative and stuff. But it's hard to make something sound serious with this voice. So let me give it one more shot. I think I can do it. It's just hard. I think that came off as just too goofy. I used to make a stew for my whole family. The recipe in itself wasn't anything special. Rance meat, bone broth, a wild grass that would grow on the leeward side of our island. We'd pray over the cauldron while it simmered. The stew, when prepared properly, would not only be delicious, it would awaken the old knowledge within the minds of the young. We're all imprinted with the root of the yearly migration, but something in the traditional meal quickens that knowledge. In sharing this meal with our young, we're not only bonding with one another, we're ensuring their survival should we fall. I can't stop thinking about it. These aliens took us before I could make this year's stew. The youngest among us are not here. How are they faring out there all alone? How can they possibly survive without our guidance? Who will show them the way? There we go. How did that feel?
Bovine.
Did it feel dramatically bovine? that was the That was that was the aim. Of course, it sounded bovine. I'm not an amateur, Ahmed. I know how to sound bovine. Oh man. Do you do any voices that cause you to crack up or laugh? Yes. Donut, definitely.
Show, brother.
Show. Yeah. Oh, you guys are gonna hear one in Jackson. That's Everybody Loves Large Chest 6. That I pretty much died laughing every time I did one of his lines. But yeah. So, okay. Cow that got recently tipped over. That's what it sounds like. Oh, I forgot. You know what I should do? I should present my screen. I should share window.
That's a good idea.
That way,
You're gonna share the actual the manuscript or the
Ableton, but I don't think I can do that. So let's just do the screen. Okay. So yeah, Ahmed, go ahead and pop that in whenever you find it appropriate. All right.
Who will show them the way?
So this way you guys get to use get to see how this program works, what it looks like. These are the previous 5 chapters. As you can see, we have colors and we have white. White is the narration. All these different colors are different characters. So what we have here is kind of like a gel electrophoresis of voices. Yeah, pretty fun. Let's get rid of this. And this. There we go. And chapter break right here. Boop, boop, boop. 1, 2.5. And here goes.
Take us back, take us back, take us back to that day,
Rosetta said.
your 15th birthday. Your mother poisoned your father and left him for dead. And then she went into the basement of your home and hanged herself from the pipes. According to the incident report from the police, you were the one to discover her. Your father had only ingested a portion of the poison and was barely injured. Your mother had left a note, but the contents of which are a mystery. Apparently, it was a letter to you.
Okay, so I don't know that she's trying to be dramatic here. I think that she's maybe going to be kind of cold and matter of fact about this on her show. So but maybe a little sympathy. I just feel like I'm trying to overdo the drama here. It should feel inappropriately non-dramatic, if you know what I mean, right? Especially since she's not the most adept. She's not the most adept host, is what was said before. So let's try this again.
Take us back to that day. Your 15th birthday. Your 15th birthday. Your mother poisoned your father and left him for dead. And then she went into the basement of your home and hanged herself from the pipes. According to the incident report from the police, you were the one to discover her. Your father had only ingested a portion of the poison and was barely injured. Your mother had left a note.
That's not appropriate, phone. How dare you, sir?
Your mother had left a note.
Fuck off!
Your mother had left a note, but the contents of which are a mystery. Apparently, it was a letter to you.
There we go. That feels a little better.
I felt as if I'd been slapped. It was like she'd stood up, walked across the space between us, and backhanded me as hard as she could. I reeled.
There we go. Now, Carl should have a good dramatic delivery here.
We're not talking about this, I said as I recovered, my surprise getting replaced by anger. That's not what we agreed to. We're supposed to be talking about the
Anna Cortez? Anna Cortez?
We're supposed to be talking about the Anna Cortez Boys Ranch. We're supposed to be talking about the Anna Cortez Boys Ranch.
Does that sound right, guys? Anna Cortez. A-N-A-C-O-R-T-E-S. Anna Cortez? Probably not. Probably that. Ahmed, could you look that up, please? Anna Cortez. A-N-A-C-O-R-T-E-S. See if we can get a pronunciation appropriate there. Let me try it one more time.
We're supposed to be talking about the Anna Cortez Boys Ranch.
We are,
Rosetta said.
but we got to get there first. Your history is well known, but we need to establish the timeline. I'm sorry if it's uncomfortable. I'm sorry if it's uncomfortable. Your mother killed herself.
Donut asked. Donut asked.
Your own mother? I didn't know that. You always said she left you. I assumed she ran off with her personal trainer or something. You know what? I don't remember you ever talking about her other than that. Saying she left you. Or your father, for that matter. Or your father, for that matter. Miss Beatrice would never shut up about her mother and father.
There we go. A little bit of empathetic donut. I think that probably worked out right.
Every instinct told me to stand up, turn around, and walk out. That was precisely what I would have done if it had been any... That was
Anna Cortez.
Anna Cortez, okay.
We're supposed to be talking about the Anna Cortez We're supposed to be talking about the Anna Cortez Boys Ranch.
We are,
Rosetta said. That was precise.
Excuse me. There it is.
That was precisely what I would have done if it had been anyone else asking this of me. I took a breath, gritted my teeth, and I said, yes, my mother hanged herself. A few months later, my father disappeared and left me all alone. A few months after that, I was taken into custody by the state of Washington. I was placed in a home where I broke the nose of some other kid. Then I was shipped off to a place called the Anna Cortez Boys Ranch, where I lived until my 18th birthday. I was handed a high school equivalency certificate even though I hadn't been in a real school for 2 years. I moved back down to Seattle, and I crashed on a couch for about a month while I looked for a job. I couldn't find one, so I went to a recruitment center. I got there during lunch, and the only one at his desk was the I got there during lunch, and the only one at his desk was the Coast Guard guy. So now you know the history. Let's move on. Donut sat there, her eyes shining up at me.
let's back up a bit.
Rosetta said.
You said your father left you.
I tensed.
But the state didn't take you into custody for a few months after that. How did that come to be?
You're a bully. You're a bully and nobody likes you. It's why Mom left. I don't need you to like me. But you will respect me.
So this, I need to mark. For a secret reason that I cannot tell you guys. Oops, I forgot you guys can see what I'm doing there, so forget what I wrote there.
But you will respect me. The fish tank that he'd shattered with his motorcycle helmet remained there on its pedestal, still broken a month later. A monument to the... Excuse me. A monument to the last living thing in my life that I cared about. The photo on the wall above it remained. My mom and dad, smiling at the camera. A lie. A goddamned lie. Never, I'd said. She'd almost gotten you. Just wait until I'm big enough to finish what she started. He'd turned around. What she started. He'd turned around and walked out the door. He walked out the door, and I never saw him again. The studio had gone silent. The only sound was Zev's rebreather.
Carl?
Rosetta finally prodded. My dad couldn't handle being a single dad, and he disappeared. My sophomore year of high school started a week later, and I went to school as if nothing had happened. I ate the rest of the food we had in the house, and when that ran out, my friend Sam would bring me food. It was until the power went out did someone finally notice I was living by myself. It wasn't until the power went out did someone finally notice I was living by myself. Rosetta nodded.
In fact, they didn't suspect you of actually killing your father? In fact, didn't they suspect you of actually killing your father?
I grunted with amusement, remembering. Yeah. Yeah. The images on the roundabout changed. It was a grainy video of a police interrogation room. Me and that asshole detective guy. What was his name? I couldn't remember. I sat there, my arms crossed, wearing a hoodie. 15 years old. I looked so small, so defiant. I could still smell the room. I could still smell that room, like Lysol and coffee and smoke. I was there all night, I remembered. He'd offered me a cigarette, trying to be my friend, to gain my trust. I'd taken it, my first. He brought me an entire pack. Cigarettes. I was 15 years old.
All right, so now I'm going to use the speaker here. So this orange track here, that is where you're going to hear, like, it's going to sound like it comes out of a speaker, like he's watching a movie, you know.
When was the last time you saw your father? The detective asked. On the screen, I shrugged. Carl, did you do something to him?
What if I did?
Did you? Do something to him.
Here we go. So you guys can hear what it sounds like.
When was the last time you saw your father? Carl, did you do something to him?
What if I did?
Did you?
Okay, I made a mistake. I didn't realize Anarchist was a place. Once someone pointed it out in the chat, so listen to this. This is different.
Anarchist.
That can't be right.
Anarchist. Yeah, Anarchist City in Washington State.
Really?
We're talking about the city, right?
I guess.
Yeah, because it sounds like Anarchist boys. Yeah, they mean the Washington City, right?
Yeah. I guess so.
Then this is it.
Anarchist.
That. Oh my God. I feel like she's lying to us. That can't.
Well, let's hear it in British.
Anarchist.
All right.
Let's hear it slowly.
Anarchist.
That was just for fun. That had nothing to do with it.
Okay, let me say it again.
We're supposed to be talking about the Anarchist boy.
I'm going to
Anarchist.
mark it
That's,
just in
that's
case.
like definitely pronounced like somebody from the west of the U.S., right? Anarchist. It's correct. See, there you go. He's from Washington. We have a Washington.
All right, cool.
We have weird pronunciations for towns in Washington. See, so it's not even okay.
Gotcha.
Oh, this person's in Oregon.
Have they? Is that where they came from? The Anarchist? It just seems so. It seems like
it took all the soul of it, right? It's like it's the West.
Anarchist.
We're supposed to be talking about the Anarchist Boys Ranch. We're supposed to be talking about the Anarchist Boys Ranch.
We are.
All right, back out.
Did you?
I shrugged again. I took a drag of a cigarette, trying to look cool. I took a drag of cigarette, trying to look cool. I coughed. I remembered that moment like it had just happened. I could still taste it.
So another thing is happening with me right now, right this moment. Sometimes when it gets really hot, there's this clicking thing that happens in my jaw. I don't know why it happens when it gets hot, but I start getting these, like, it almost sounds like I'm popping, you know, when you crack your fingers or whatever. It almost sounds like a tiny version of that right inside my jaw, and you can hear it through the microphone, and that it makes it into the audio, and it pisses me off.
About an hour after this, they discovered my father was alive and well somewhere in Wisconsin where he'd gotten himself arrested a few times for public drunkenness. The detectives' attitude toward me completely changed once they learned my dad was alive. The detectives' attitude toward me completely changed once they learned my dad was alive. They were being kind and respectful to me because they wanted me to admit to a crime. It was a false respect, a false kindness, but it was the first I'd gotten from an adult in such a long time, and despite my outward hostility, I'd been just drinking it up. I had wanted them to think I'd done something to my father. It was stupid, I knew now. But I desperately wanted them to see me, to understand me, to know me. I was here, God damn it. I was real. But once they realized there was nothing of interest to them, everything changed. I was just another sad, abandoned kid, a victim. I was not their problem. I was nothing. They left me alone in that cold room with the smell of cigarettes and Lysol and coffee, waiting for the social worker. They'd taken the pack away, admonishing me about smoking. I was left there for 4 hours. Forgotten, in that tiny room.
So, sorry, I'm gonna do one of these. Here, let's do, can we just do this? What happens if I do this? No, that's not what I want. This? There we go. We'll do it that way. From now on. I just changed the format, Ahmed. Yeah, so damn it, I had something specific to say about this. Ah, fucked up. Sorry, guys. I don't remember.
In that tiny room. I'd never felt so helpless. so impotent in my life than when that social worker came and told me it was time to go. In so many ways, it was worse than the moment of my mother's death. Her departure had been like a slow-motion car crash that had taken years to get to the violent, abrupt impact. My father's disappearance after that was nothing but an aftershock, and everything up until that moment was me just spinning, rolling away, injured and in shock from the trauma with the broken glass of my life raining all around me. But that moment, the moment the woman came and opened the door to the interrogation room and said,
I'm going to assume we're still watching the interrogation video.
Come on now.
that was the moment I'd finally stopped reeling and could see exactly where I was.
Let's try that one more time.
Come on now.
That was the moment.
A little more impatience.
The police claimed that they were going to arrest your father for child abandonment.
That's what I was about to... That's what it was. I was going to say, wouldn't they go after him for this?
The police claimed they were going to arrest your father for child abandonment.
Rosetta said when the video stopped playing.
An arrest warrant was issued, but it appears he was never taken into custody. He was supposed to be in... He was stopped.
Supposed to be.
He was stopped in a traffic incident 7 years later in Georgia, which is another state of the country, but they let him go. It's not clear if the officers were aware of the warrant or if it was still active. That was the last time he was in the system.
That last part was news to me. I did my best not to show a reaction. Donut, I realized, was on my lap. I couldn't remember when she'd jumped there. This is ancient history, I finally said. Nobody cares about any of this stuff.
I'm going to try that one again.
Nobody cares about this stuff.
Excuse me.
Nobody cares about any of this stuff.
That's not even a little bit true, Carl,
Rosetta said.
But you're correct on one point. None of this is new. Odette's special on your life, which recently tunneled, touched on all of these points.
Her what?
What I'm really interested in is how your society dealt with children who are all alone. We have seen the specials about what happened to children left in India for obvious reasons, but your country, the United States of America, was on the other side of the planet.
I had no idea what was obvious about India. I only knew of a few crawlers from India, but the last thing I wanted was to get her to talk more about this. She continued.
You ended up at a home for teenaged boys. We have photos of your sleeping quarters, but only a precious few records about you during that time.
Actually doesn't sound too bad. I fucked it up in the moment, but I played some jazz. That's what I did.
Time, where did that go? All we have is a 3-page report and a record from your graduation. All good marks.
That photo of me holding the young goat reappeared. Another photo of the dorm, probably taken from the ranch's website, popped up on the screen. The photo was wrong. Too clean. There was light shining into the room. I remembered how dark it had been all the time. That place, too, had smelled like Lysol. Most of my time there was a blur. I was there for 2 years. It seemed like it was just for a week. Yet,
Excuse me.
Yet it also felt like it was a decade, all blurred together. It was, called a ranch, but there were no animals there. I worked nearby at a real ranch during the summer, shoveling goat crap. But most of my time there was spent at the home. But most of my time there was spent at the home cleaning or rewiring the lights or replacing all... But most of my time there was spent at the home cleaning or rewiring the lights or replacing all the power outlets. That's what they did. They gave you something to do. They kept you busy doing something inconsequential, something you could use once you aged out.
You know what's funny? I know how to change out power outlets and rewire lights. I know how to do all this stuff. I used to do it when I was doing maintenance for my parents. They had rental property. I have a lot in common with Carl, I think. Not this, like, horrific childhood trauma shit, but some of his character traits and stuff he cares about.
Out. I paused, remembering.
Did you feel as if you were abandoned by society?
Rosetta asked. That's exactly how I felt at the time, but I wasn't going to contribute to any anti-Earth bullshit. I was an angry and scared kid. But here's the thing. I was an angry and scared kid. But here's the thing. On the surface, everything about my life sucked. My mother was dead. My dad was gone. I was shoved in the corner until I wasn't anyone's problem anymore. My situation seemed bleak.
Come on now.
But I was healthy. I had medical care, food, and a place to stay until I was considered an adult. Compared to some other kids, I had it great. I paused, wondering why I was saying this. Wondering if it was true. It wasn't ideal, but looking at where I landed, I think sometimes my mother was right. That it was the best possible outcome. Rosetta appeared surprised.
Wait, right in what? Right in killing herself?
I didn't answer directly. I joined the Coast Guard right after I turned 18, and everything worked out okay until aliens decided to come along and destroy. But I paused, my eyes catching a photo on the roundabout. It was me in the kitchen at the boys' home, and it appeared I was making dinner. There were a bunch of ingredients lined up on the counter, and I had a big knife in my hand while I chopped up a potato. Sitting next to me was a big jug with the word milk on it. The photo was wrong. It was fake. They'd never let me anywhere near the kitchen except to clean it, and the milk jug was strange. It was shaped like a 2-liter bottle of soda. Not correct. Plus, the angle of the photo was wrong. It was impossible. If I was chopping potatoes at the counter, then the person holding the camera was standing where there was a wall. I was about to say something, but I thought better of it. Was it a message? Were they trying to tell me something? If so, what the hell was it?
We know you oftentimes worked in the kitchen, preparing a stew for your fellow students. That single report from the ranch stated you didn't talk much to anyone, but with your cooking skills, along with some help from the home's manager, you could really make a statement. Everyone would gather together at the end of the week for stew night. The report said your special ingredients were simple: milk and potatoes and whatever else you could find. That was it. Cooking?
Donut asked, incredulous.
Carl could cook. Carl once almost burned the apartment down making a breakfast sandwich. And don't get me started on the pancake incident. He covered me with batter and then tried to give me a bath. In the bathtub!
That was your fault. Yeah, that was your fault, I said, my mind working as quickly. My mind working as quickly as I could. You knocked the bowl off the counter.
I think he should sound a little distracted here instead.
That was your fault, I said, my mind working as quickly as I could. You knocked the bowl off the counter.
If I knocked something off the counter, then it was placed too close to the edge. All the best cooks know not to place things next to the edge when there are cats in the home. That's cooking 101, Carl.
I turned back to Rosetta, who was looking directly at me.
Apparently Carl needs a proper recipe to do his best work,
Rosetta said. I looked up at the screen. The stew was easy. Milk and potatoes. I remember that. Sometimes they didn't give us much else to work with, and I had to improvise.
That sounds like mashed potatoes, not stew. That sounds like mashed...
And potatoes are very versatile.
Very,
Rosetta agreed.
Most...
The whole world blinked. Rosetta disappeared. The other three in the room remained. The lights snapped on. The whole...
Let me try this. Cut that a little shorter.
The whole world blinked.
There we go. Well. Whole world blinked. Whole world blinked. Where to go?
Hey! What happened?
Okay, someone reminded me that Zev was not using the rebreather anymore. I don't know if that's true or not. So real quick, guys, let's see, is this Zev here?
Sit down, shut up, and listen.
That is not. Maybe it's this. No, that's the monster track. Where we at?
Rest.
She looked at me.
Actually, she was more like you, Carl, than Odette. She was a big fan of blowing things up. She's only recently been released from her indenture liaison, so I can prepare. It's not my job to do yours,
Zev said evenly.
Save it, fish.
Zev grumbled and sprayed out water over the couch. The goat guy
I
turned
think
to quit.
she does still have the rebreather on, at least. Does the rebreather not necessarily include the fish tank around her head? Okay, so I should remove the fish tank. The fish tank sound. Let's see who else.
The rules state a liaison. I have no control over who they send.
Well,
Harbinger.
let you guys see what
The
I'm doing
devil
here.
goat's name is Harbinger. I said you'll have to take up with the liaison. System has been buggy. Rosetta, right? Yes. Former crawler and only recently been released from her.
Alright, so those are all Zev. Let's bring her back up to Chick 2. There we go. Easy peasy.
Blowing things up.
Maybe some more here.
We'll be showing you scenes from shows on... I loved it.
Zev said.
Okay, she's here.
When was the last time?
There we go.
What happened? What do you think you're doing?
Zev shouted at the same time. She was shouting at the massive goat. I have ended the interview, Harbinger said. I am also recalling your attorney.
And let's drop his voice a couple steps. A couple half steps. A whole step, if you will.
I have ended the interview.
There we go.
Wait just 1 second, you hairy glob of what the fuck!
Quasar began before he also disappeared. Quasar.
Liaison, you do not have the authority to do that!
Zev said, sounding pissed. It was the angriest I'd ever heard her.
We're going to have to refund them, and you can't just dismiss an attorney like that!
She and Carl were obviously talking in code, Harbinger said. I have full authority to intervene when I believe cheating is involved. My job is to protect the integrity of the crawl. That's why I am here. I have banned Rosetta from participating in any future crawler interviews.
We'll drop this one.
She and Carl were obviously talking in code. I have full authority to intervene when I believe cheating is involved.
There we go. All right.
They're going to sue, and they're going to win.
No such lawsuits are proceeding at this time. This interview is over. Carl and Donut, you may return to the dungeon now. You should know, Carl, that I strongly believe you need to be removed from the crawl. I am actively working to have both you and the Caprid disposed, and I will eventually succeed. With that, he blinked and disappeared. I have full...
One more time.
No such lawsuits are eventually succeed. That's nice. That's nice.
Damn him! Those idiots.
Nice.
Damn him! Those idiots are always messing everything up. Those idiots are always messing everything up. Always overreacting. Sorry, guys. I doubt she got enough for Carl's portion of the interview. I liked her, Rosetta. I didn't at first because she's one of those crest people, but she genuinely seemed interested in the subject, even if her producers got all of their television shows. I didn't at first because she's one of those crest people, but she genuinely seemed interested in the subject, even if her producers got all of their television shows mixed up. I didn't even know what that last show was, though it had the Evil Dead guy in it, and now she's not going to be able to do her show anymore because she was talking about mashed potatoes.
Let's try one more time.
I didn't even know what that last show was, though it had that Evil Dead. I didn't even know what that last show was, though it had the Evil Dead guy in it, and now she's not going to be able to do her show anymore because she was... Bah. I didn't even know what that last show was, though it had the Evil Dead guy in it, and now she's not going to be able to do her show anymore because she was talking about mashed potatoes.
That's okay, I said after a moment, my mind racing. She'd risked everything to get that message to me. I'd read through Milk's notes in the cookbook twice now. I needed to go back over it. She'd mostly been about portals and map-making. I remembered. No, she'd mostly been about portals and map-making, I remembered, and special types of ink. She had a few recipes for the stuff. I needed to take another look. I remembered one of Milk's passages in particular. It wasn't a recipe or important information, just a rant, like we all did in the cookbook from time to time. Someone had responded, agreeing. I was pretty sure the responder was Rosetta. Potatoes are very versatile, I'd said. Very, she'd replied. Just like just like all root vegetables. Potatoes and milk. I still wasn't certain exactly what they wanted me to do with the yam thing. The taureline root vegetable. But now I had an important clue. And now that I had definitive proof that my sponsors, the Open Intellect Pacifist Network, employed at least one, likely two, possibly three former cookbook owners, then whatever it was they were attempting to get me to do was of crucial importance.
All right, need to get more tea. Things are getting more intense. I should do Coca-Cola commercials. All right, here goes. Just a little chapter break there. Half, 1, 2.
Carl, are you okay?
Donut asked as we returned to the green room. She jumped to the room's counter and sat, facing me.
That wasn't very nice of her to bring all that up about your mother. That wasn't very nice of her to bring all that up about your mother. And your father sounds like a huge jerk. I'm surprised you turned out so well adjusted. Though it does explain a few things. Why didn't you ever tell Miss Beatrice any of this stuff? Any of this stuff.
I gave a non-committal grunt. I wasn't okay. I was pretty damn far from okay. But what could I do? It was done, and it had been done for a very long time. Every time I started to feel sorry for myself, I would think about everyone else in the world. So many people had it so much worse, especially now. I almost felt like I didn't have the right to feel upset about something that had happened so long ago. Only Zev remained with us, and she was furiously typing onto her tablet and grumbling. She was pissed about the liaison. I'd never seen her so irritated. It was in the past. It's in the past. I don't want to be defined by things I have no control over. I don't want to be defined by things I have no control over. I finally said, I don't want to be defined. Donut just looked at me for a long moment, a concerned look to her face, like she was debating whether or not to pursue it. I felt it then. The river. It bubbled up a little here and then. It was growing. I could hear it now. Loud screaming. I'm still here. I'm still here. I've been here the whole time. Patches, when applied improperly, never hold for long. I gave Donut a small, uncertain smile, and I shook my head. No, don't. Please. Donut blinked slowly, and then she jumped to my shoulder and leaned against the side of my head, allowing me to give her a pat. I thought she was going to continue the line of questioning, but then she seemed to change her mind. She straightened.
Well, it's quite tragic. But did you hear what she said? Odette had a special about you. Odette had a special about you. Odette had a special about you. Isn't that great? I wonder what sort of audience she... Odette had a special about you. Isn't that great? I wonder what sort of audience share you pulled. Do you think there was one about me? There is one,
Zev said, not looking up from her tablet.
It's airing tonight, actually. There was one about Lee Nall. There was one about Lee Nall last night. Tomorrow is Katya. After that, I can't remember. Maybe Florin? Odette had them... Odette had them made to air. Odette had them made to air while she travels to Earth orbit. Really?
Donut asked, suddenly bouncing up and down on my shoulder.
My own special. A special about me. Do you think they have the video of the judging from Cleveland? If you watch the video, there's a close-up of Spice Mountain of Cinnamon's owner right when she realized she lost, and it's just... chef's kiss. Really? Really?
Donut asked, suddenly bouncing up and...
Miss Beatrice had the screen cap as the wallpaper on her phone for like a month.
Zev, did you deliberately not tell my attorney that Harbinger guy... Zev, did you deliberately not tell my attorney that Harbinger guy would be here?
No, Carl,
Zev said. She sounded harried.
I'm sorry. I'm so busy. I have so much going on right now that I shouldn't even be here. We lost dozens of staff during the Valte changeover. Plus, we weren't prepared for this 8th floor. Plus, the Valte don't allow certain types of micro-AI systems to assist, and now I'm doing the work of 5. It didn't even occur to me he should be informed. I'll make a note of it for the future. I didn't know it would be that guy, either.
So he's the one who got bribed by the Skull... So he's the one who got bribed by the Skull Empire? How does he still have a job?
We're not having that conversation. You're transferring back in 10 seconds. You'll be back here in 2 days for the pre-production meeting.
Donut stretched and sharpened her claws on the edge of my cloak.
If Rosetta really is banned, I do hope she gets to show her last episode, even if their producers have a weird obsession with shows that...
She trailed off and made a little gasp.
Shows that aren't as good as Gossip Girl. Shows that aren't as good as Gossip Girl.
Gasp.
With shows that...
She trailed off and made a little gasp.
Shows that...
She trailed off and made a little gasp.
Shows that...
She trailed off and made a little gasp.
Shows that aren't as good as Gossip Girl. Note added by Crawler Milk. 6th edition.
I am writing the 6th edition of this book. I am putting as much information as I can in here. One day you will find these words, and I pray that they feed you. And I pray that they feed you, like the stew I used to serve to... And I pray that they feed you, like the stew I used to serve to our little ones. But is it enough to give this information to just one person? There's honor in giving someone a meal. But I wish to cook a feast for the whole galaxy. I wish for them all to choke on our pain.
Note added by Crawler Rosetta, 9th edition. Comrade, I agree. One day, we will make certain they all know. Our words will not be lost. I swear it.
Now, one thing I'm kind of forgetting right now, and that was the chapter, by the way. Chapter done. One thing I am not sure about. Did we put the crawler notes? Did we put those in the thought track or the AI track? I can't remember. Do you guys remember? Did it sound like the same as when there was chat happening for the notes, for the crawler notes from the what is it called? From the Anarchist Cookbook? Someone said thought. It's still a bass, by the way. It's just a Fender bass instead of a crazy Carl Thompson. Well, hold on.
Note added by
This
Crawler
is
Milk,
supposed to be the AI,
6th edition.
but it's the person's
I
note.
am writing the 6th edition of this book. I am putting as much information as I can in here. One day you will find these words,
Beer's in the mini fridge.
and I pray that they feed you,
And cider.
like the stew I used to serve to our little ones. But is it enough to give this information to just one person?
Someone said AI. All your base do not belong to you. How dare you, sir and madam? I feel like you just told me you want to kidnap my children. That's how I feel about what you just said. So clearly I'm going to sue all of you. Every single one of you. I've had enough! All right. More tea. I'm having a hard time today. I don't know why.
Chapter 14. Here's the plan, I said to Paz, Anton, and Sister Inez.
Excuse me.
I said to Paz, Anton, and Sister Inez as they stared, open-mouthed, up at the armored form of Bomo. We open the door and step outside. Before the Gomids can get to us, I'll roll the stun bomb.
What about Asahano?
Paz asked, still looking up at the giant cretin. Paz asked, still looking up at the giant cretin, who was now wearing twice as much armor as he was.
If you hit the Orisha guy, it'll mess everything up.
I nodded. We can see him out there. I pointed left. He's already built a path for us to the temple. Sort of. All of the ghosts are pushed to the east and to the sides. The moment we exit, they'll surge. They made this like a game quest. A gauntlet run. I'm going to toss the bomb away from him and toward the mass of Gomids, which will hopefully give us some breathing room. It'll mass stun them. Then we run to the temple, get inside, and we'll guard you while you figure out how to fix his shrine. Also, if we're lucky, I can flag one of the Gomids. You guys should consider it too.
Are those missile launchers on his shoulders?
Anton asked, walking in circles around Bomo.
Are those missile launchers on his shoulders?
Anton asked, walking in circles around Bomo. Yes, Yes, 2 six-packs. 6 group stun and 6 six group stun and 6 individuals. I patted the round, beach ball-sized bomb in my hand, which caused them all to step back. I made them with the leftovers. The blasts will only hurt the undead, so it's okay if they go off at short range. Just be careful of the flames coming out the back when they're launched. 6.
This armor looks heavy as shit.
Anton said after a moment, still eyeing the bomb nervously.
And more complicated than Paz's armor. And more complicated than Paz's armor. Or those daggers? How much metal is he wearing? This armor looks heavy as shit. This armor looks heavy as shit.
Anton said after a moment. A lot.
With the missile launchers on his shoulder, he looks like one of those robots from Battletech.
Pa said. I know, right? I asked, grinning. He's been playing some game called Armored Core, so he's really into it. He's just pissed he doesn't have a giant gun in addition to the missiles. Bomo made a sad grunt.
All right, making a note here to add an effect. Let's see.
The missiles. Bomo made a sad grunt. The missiles. Bomo made a sad.
The metal isn't enchanted,
Anton continued.
It won't protect him against the undead.
I'm aware,
I don't like this.
Sister Inez said, looking toward the door.
If we fix the Orisha shrine, it says he'll be more powerful. What if he doesn't go away? What if he uses the power to attack us?
I nodded. Our manager thinks the same thing. That's why we have a contingency. Thanks to Lena's team making a run to the Desperado Club, we gathered all the supplies we needed. It had been pricey, and we needed to give some of our fortune over. It had been pricey, and we'd needed to give some of our fortune over to them just so they could pay for it. Donut wouldn't stop grumbling about how much all of this cost. Mordecai helped me build the first bomb. It was a modified stun grenade designed to paralyze non-corporeal monsters. I wanted to keep as many alive as possible for when the town turned back. The market on the Desperado Club's middle floor had a booth that sold something called a troll smoke mantle, which was a step up from the smoke curtains that Pustule the Hobgoblin sold on the top floor. They were outrageously expensive, 30,000 gold for a pack of 12, and they only had one case. I had them buy it for us. When I combined 4 of the smoke mantles with a stun grenade, the effect of the stun had a much wider range, and they lasted up to 30 seconds. Then I made smaller, lower-power versions with the rest of my supplies and attached them to seeker missiles, which I built into Bomo's new armor. I only had enough supplies for 6 smoke missiles, which would have a small area of effect.
Fuck!
I only had enough supplies for 6 smoke missiles, which would have a small area effect. Then I added 6 anti-undead missiles that would take out just 1 or 2 gomids at a time. The massive suit of armor for Bomo was something I'd been toying with a few days now. I didn't have the ability to enchant the armor, which was unfortunate. But I could make it heavy, and so it But I could make it heavy, and so it would break into dozens of pieces. I made it as big as I could without impeding his ability to move too much. The rock dude was crazy strong and could hold a lot. Paz was right. He looked like one of those bipedal mechs. I leaned up against the door to the outside. Thankfully, Asahano had cleared the doorway of the monsters. I readied the round stun bomb. Donut.
If the Bomo armor plan works, then maybe we can talk Kotia into coming back into our party. We can use her for this instead of Bomo. We just need to come up with a cool name for the move.
Okay, here we go.
Phew, it's hot. It's hot in here, guys. Combat started!
Dios mío, Anton said. Sister Inez smacked him on the arm with an admonishment, but she couldn't look away either. The Gamids emanated an ethereal blue glow that they didn't possess during the day. They lit up the fog-covered graveyard, giving everything an eerie, cerulean tinge. If I didn't know they were so deadly, the look would be cartoonish. The moment we stepped outside, a choir of shrieks and keens pierced across the graveyard. They didn't moan and groan like before. They wailed, loud and terrifying and high-pitched, like thousands of injured animals calling out at once. They surged. They still moved slowly, but they were much faster at night than during the day. Sister Inez... Damn it.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit!
Paz said as I rolled the stun grenade at the mass right behind us. The mobs were all looking directly at him. The armored warrior suddenly had a debuff over him. Terrified. He glowed, and it went away as Sister Inez cast something, only for it to return a moment later. She repeated the healing, and the debuff returned a third time. The man stopped, rooted in place, as he looked about, wringing his armored hands. He couldn't move while he had the debuff. Bam! The stun bomb went off with a muffled explosion. Billowing red smoke filled the world behind us, swirling with the fog. All the Gamids in that area were now temporarily frozen. The ones closest to the blast were likely dead. We still had hundreds ahead of us to the left and right, moving to cut us off. I closed my fist and formed my gauntlet.
Santiago!
Asahano yelled. He stood at the halfway point between us and the temple at the center of the graveyard, which was about a full city block away. All I could see was the point of the building, like a dagger in the night. Asahano stood, shrouded knee-deep in fog.
To me! To me! To me! Run! Bomo! Keep your... Run! Bomo! Keep your way... Run! Bomo! Keep our way clear. And pick up Paz! Run! Bomo! Keep our way clear. And pick up Paz!
I didn't know why he was the only one affected by the terrified debuff, but I was grateful for it. Heavy.
I'm going to make sure we have... Nope.
Bomo groaned as he attempted to carry the armored man, who continued to just say, "Shit, shit, shit," over and over again.
Pause! Take off your breastplate! Stick it in your inventory! You're too heavy for Bomo with all your armor!
I knew his breastplate was actually light as a feather when it wasn't equipped, and he didn't feel the weight while he wore it, but it made him outrageously heavy to anyone else who tried to pick him up.
Donut!
I started to say, but the breastplate blinked and disappeared as Paz unequipped it. It revealed a surprisingly skinny, shirtless man. A giant cross tattoo was etched onto his back with a terrible rendition of Jesus in smudged ink. He still wore the leg armor, and the diameter of the waistline was wide enough that 3 more people could probably fit in there. The armored pants appeared to stay up magically. Bomo heaved and pulled the man up in a bear hug, holding him against his chest. We moved toward the temple. I knew under all that fog, a paved street cut right through the graveyard, leading straight to the church. It had been clear of monsters when we stepped outside. Now, Gamids swelled forward, moving in on both sides as we rushed toward Asahano, who stood like a damn statue in the middle of the street, arms spread wide, like he was Moses parting the Red Sea. The former god radiated. He burned with a sickly green light that crackled like heat around him. I eyed the glow warily as we ran.
Don't get too close to him! What are we going to do about Paz?
Anton shouted.
We'll heal him when we get inside!
Whoosh! Whoosh! On Bomo's shoulders, 2 of the 6 stun missiles streaked away, exploding about 30 feet in front of us to the left and right. A group of surging undead dropped into the fog, frozen.
Make sure you don't get it near Asahano!
Up ahead, Asahano turned and started jogging toward the temple. The Gamids didn't come near him, but I knew if we got too close. The Gamids didn't come near him, but I knew if we got too close, we'd get hit with whatever disease he emanated. A 6-legged, fox-like Gamid hissed, coming up and out of the fog. A 6-legged, fox-like Gamid hissed, coming up out of the fog, apparently unaffected by the stun effect. It tried to jump over me and Donut to get to Paz. I decked it with my gauntlet, and it went flying. Donut magic missiled another one, this one round and fish-like.
Okay, so there's a different voice for when it talks about the scavenger's daughter. So let me see if I can find that. Kaiju AI voice, that's right.
The scavenger's death. The scavenger's...
Right. Add locator, paste that in.
The scavenger's daughter has been fed. Unleash her wrath. I'd killed enough to fill my back patch again. This time, the essence was almost all these Gamid things. This time, the essence was almost all these Gamid things. This time, the essence was almost all these Gamid things, giving the bar a black appearance.
Oh, Ahmed, one thing that you missed since you weren't here last time. Donut received a special item. It's a pop mic that has auto-tune built into it. So we're going to need a lot of auto-tune in this book. You going to be ready for that shit? Kind of want to send you a sample of Donut so that we can see what auto-tune is going to sound like. If you're there, Ahmed, I can't. If you're talking or anything, I can't hear you. Or maybe he's gone.
No, I'm right here. I'm just listening to a different feed. But yeah, that's easy sauce.
Easy. Let's see.
Easy sauce. I can easily auto-tune. Yeah, sure.
Let's see. I'm gonna find where she first gets it. Here we go.
The bar.
And we're also gonna need to auto-tune the AI for this one.
Yeah, cool.
For this one, when it gets introduced.
Oh, I just love it.
Here it is. I'm gonna export this.
Oh, when you read the AI for the auto-tune parts, put a little T-Pain in it,
Yeah, for sure.
Like just give it a.
You mean in the performance?
Soul. Yeah, give it a little bit so I have notes to bend and make sound super auto-tuned.
Okay, let's see what this sounds like. I'm gonna send you the sample of Donut.
All right, let me set this up.
And I'll send it to you via Teams.
Word. Hold it up, I'll just pop some auto-tune on this track here. I have it set up.
There we go. So I don't know much about the auto-tune plugin. When you put the auto-tune on something,
Yeah.
do you have to manually make adjustments to every syllable or every
There's levels to how it works. You
Okay.
can manually adjust if you get in there. There's another program I use called Melody. But generally speaking, it functions based on the key of the song. So you can automate key changes, but for the most part, it just has to do with the key. So in this moment, let me know if you hear this.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
It's clearly the effect is far more. Hang on, if I change the scale to really outside, that was chromatic.
Okay.
So if I change the scale, I guess alto tenor, and then let's just do a scale, I don't know, like B flat minor. Let's see what happens.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
Okay.
It's getting there.
Can we try it like maybe just C, or and how does it like? Do you turn up
You
the
wanna see on
intensity
screen?
and then it adjusts more, or what?
Yeah, it depends on the speed that you have it retune.
Okay.
And then you can add. Hang on.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
You know what's interesting is it doesn't seem to be affecting. 1 second.
Oh, I just love it.
There we go.
Wow.
Better, right?
Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
There we go. All right. Can we add some chorus?
Let me see if I can.
Oh, I just love it.
Yeah, we sure can. Let me use the chorus that the same company makes. Let's see what happens. This is called Duo. It's an auto doubler.
Oh, I just love it.
There we go.
Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
Okay.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, It sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make...
I need to find that note, the fan note, so that way it's really weird. Hang on.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
Okay, what about a bit of just a bit of distortion and some reverb so that it sounds like it's coming out of a speaker?
Speaker distortion. Okay, hang on. Wait, what was the first thing? Distortion. You meant distortion as the speaker, not necessarily distortion plus that, right?
Yeah. I mean, like speaker
I have
distortion.
something
Kind
that
of.
I could try that might be good. It's called it's a fab filter tool called Saturn.
I'm sending you the current crazy AI auto-tune bit. See what he sounds like.
Love it.
Yeah, it sounds like oh, wait, here we go.
Oh, I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little too much. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some more tea.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder. Fan. Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder. Oh, I just love it. Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder. Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
That sounded a little better.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look. Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
I think that
this is one of those microphones that you just hold and has auto-tune in it and it has a speaker on it, right? Like
yeah.
Donut's holding a little mic, and so it's a little tiny speaker. I got you. Like my
Yeah,
kid's
yeah.
toy one. Like my kid's toy one.
Well, sort of. I mean, it should sound pretty loud though. It says it does amplify her voice as well. So it's like it's a headset, and it's probably got a speaker like on the side.
Cool. I guess it would, yeah, we just need a little bit of something slappy, something close.
Can we try the same effect on the AI? I just sent you another clip.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
Yeah, the more you go through notes, the better it's gonna do weird stuff. Auto-tune, because if the note's already a straight note, it's gonna do less ultimately. You know what I mean? It's like it's dependent on the movement.
Right.
To sound to add like
The Bard's Golden Throat. Enchanted headset microphone. Nuclear power. The airplane. Transistors. Antibiotics. Important inventions and discoveries of the 1900s that changed the world. But those were nothing. Absolutely nothing compared to the
Is this the
greatest
same
invention
one that
of
you
the
just made for Donut?
Yep.
Okay.
The Bard's Golden Throat. Enchanted headset microphone. Nuclear power. The airplane.
But I did go through 2 different. Hang on. This is.
The Bard's Golden Throat. Enchanted headset microphone. Nuclear power. The airplane. Transistors. Antibiotics. Important inventions and discoveries of the 1900s that changed the world. But those were nothing. Absolutely nothing compared to the greatest invention of the century. It happened in September of 1997. That was the day it all changed. That was the day a company called Antares Audio Technologies released into the wild a piece of software that finally cured a horrific disability that had been plaguing young men and women for a millennia.
Are you making adjustments on the fly here?
The disability? Tone deafness. The cure? It was called...
This is Greek diatonic. I'm choosing different kinds of scales because I figure, depending on the scale and the notes that you're hitting while you speak, it could have, the effect could feel more deep.
It was called auto-tune. With the advent of the real-time vocal synthesizer, underprivileged youths such as T-Pain, Kanye, and Kesha were finally able to crawl out from underneath their ordinary lives and become the shining stars they were destined to be. At the same time, aging musicians were able to keep their stars aloft just a little longer, proving once and for all that nothing, not even the lack of natural talent, could stop the upward momentum of technology. This golden amethyst-encrusted microphone imbues the following benefits when it is equipped. The golden throat enhancement automatically tunes songs within 1.5 steps of correct note, assists in the proper formation of all bard-based songs and spells. Amplification. While equipped, all
is there a way to randomize?
songs are amplified at twice the normal volume.
Or not randomize, but like
5 times of top volume. Charisma plus 5.
No, that's probably not going to work. Yeah, so I think that here's the thing, guys. For this auto-tune stuff, I think it's going to be a bit harder than I thought it was going to be because we want it to sound good. Actually, the donut one sounded better, but like you took those same settings and you put it on the AI, so I got to figure out how to do the performance right so that it's going to lend itself to the auto-tune happening, right? So
yeah, I think you might maybe try to take where you sing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant by you gotta T-paint it up. Because if it's just words, the words don't... It might tune the words, but it's gonna be hard to tell, that it's... unless there's a huge, glissando. Like when you drag, when you go between words.
Yeah.
Then you'll hear it kind of...
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's... But I could keep playing with it. I could make it more severe for sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was just a sample of what you guys might get later. So here goes some more some more donut auto-tune stuff coming up. Let's see. This is what I've been most excited about for this book.
Giving the bar a black appearance.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so this here she's literally singing. So paste VFX auto tune. Oops. Did I? Oh, okay. I'll protect you, my pretties. Okay, so she's supposed to, I think. I'll protect you, my pretties.
Donut sang from my shoulder, her voice electronic with auto-tune.
With my voice of an angel, with my voice of an angel and my expertly... My voice of an angel and my
let's see. I gotta come up with a melody here.
Expertly sung ditties. With my voice of an angel and my expertly sung ditties.
There we go.
You have been limbered. Your party's dexterity is increased by 50%.
Holy shit, that worked! I said, as we increased in speed.
Of course it worked, Carl,
Donut said as she bounced on my shoulder, her voice still amplified and auto-tuned. Donut said as she bounced on my shoulder, her voice still amplified and auto-tuned.
Now be quiet. I need to sing another verse to stack. I need to sing another verse. Now be quiet. I need to sing another verse to stack it. Run, little ones, run through the cities.
She whimpered uncertainly.
Carl loves a lady with really nice titties. Your party's dexterity boost has been cancelled because your bard can't hold a tune. For everyone's sake, she's been muted for singing for 5 minutes. For everyone's sake, she's been muted from singing for 5 minutes. Hey!
Donut cried. She pulled the headset away. Bomo fired 2 more smoke missiles ahead of us. Then he fired 2 more from the... Then he fired 2 more from the other tube. These were the single-target ones. The hissing missiles arced up in the air, did a loop, and hit a pair of wailing targets moving up behind us. The temple materialized, coming into view in the glowing darkness, emerging like some dilapidated beast. The octagonal, yellow building appeared ridiculously sinister in the dark. A single doorway stood open under an archway. The rotted door hung loosely by a single hinge, like a rotten tooth. Asahano rushed to the door, paused, and shouted for us to follow. He then disappeared inside, leaving the door swinging. Ahead, Anton face-planted as he hit a hidden curb. He disappeared into the fog. The road ended before the temple, but we couldn't see the ground, only 20 feet away. The road ended before the temple, but we couldn't see the ground, only 20 feet away. Sister Inez bent down to pick him up, firing bolts as the Gomid surged. Bomo fired his last 2 smoke missiles, one right in front of us, clearing the way. A tall Gomid with the head of a donkey appeared, coming out of the darkness, surprising me with its speed. I instinctively clicked on Daughter's Kiss, which drained my essence bar. I clobbered the creature with my fist. I was expecting it to explode like the last time I'd used the spell. Instead, its damn head broke off with the sound of breaking pottery. The donkey head hit the ground and bounced. But I hadn't killed it. Both pieces, the body and the head, rumbled to life and attacked. Tentacles sprouted from the hole in the main body as the headless thing surged back at us. At the same moment, a long, striped snake body emerged from the neck of the decapitated donkey head, whipping back and forth as it wormed out of the creature. The snake body was huge, at least 10 feet long, as big as a boa constrictor. The massive body had come out of nowhere. I wasted a few precious seconds watching, open-mouthed, while Anton, who was still getting to his feet, started shouting, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" The donkey snake hissed at me and slithered forward as Donut lobbed a missile at the other half, the tentacled body. It blasted back into the fog and broke into 2 more pieces before they disappeared into the smoke. I focused on the donkey snake.
Sorry, donkey snake.
Snake. I cast Talon Strike, prayed my foot wouldn't get frozen, and I attempted to stomp the damn thing. It bobbed out of the way, lightning quick, and I whiffed my punt. This one wasn't like the others. It was fast. I almost Charlie Brown flipped onto my back. The donkey head emanated a shriek as it was hit by a bolt from Sister Inez. It had been about to strike. She'd likely just saved my life. "Go!" I cried, pointing at the door as I scrambled to get away. The ground had turned from paved road to slick, wet grass. We clambered toward the entrance. Most of the creatures had been knocked out by the smoke, but a handful of them were either immune or resisted the stun effect. "Come on!" Anton shouted. We pushed toward the hanging door in the temple. I shoved Bomo ahead of me, yelling at him to get paws to Sister Inez so she could cure him. The others all entered, one by one. Donut leaped from my shoulder into the temple, yowling as she started to slide on the interior floor tiles. I turned to face the remaining monsters. The damn donkey snake was still coming, obviously immune to the smoke. I finally noticed this one's level was much higher than the others. Sister Inez had almost killed it. Its health was blinking, almost gone. It continued to shriek, this time focusing on me. The AI took on a sneering, mocking tone.
New achievement. Cry baby. You've been rendered terrified. Whoa, why are you being Whoa! Why are you being such a little bitch? Oh, did the little baby just wet itself? You can't move your legs for 15 seconds or until the scary monster is dead. Reward? We do not reward people who soil themselves in public.
I had not peed myself. In fact, I didn't actually feel scared, just irritated that this whole shit show was harder and more dangerous than it should have been. I thought that was interesting, but I didn't have time to dwell on it. I pulled a flag from my inventory, turned it point first like a dagger just as the ghost donkey snake lunged. I let the beast impale itself. The force of the strike blew me backward into the temple. I hit the tiled ground and slid, card in my hand, as the debuff disappeared. I came to a stop against some rubble as Donut howled and jumped out of my way. Entering La Iglesia de los...
Entering La Iglesia de los Olvidados.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Combat complete! Deck has been reset! Just wanted to get one more horrific American accent Spanish in there from the AI. If he has like a whole like stat read in Spanish, I'm definitely putting on the worst accent possible with the AI. It's one of my favorite things. It really is.
I groaned, looking up. I felt a strange heaviness. Moonlight shone.
The word shone always trips me up because I know that the word is pronounced Sean in the English accents, and so I always have to make that adjustment. And so but I say it more in English accent, so I always have to like reset my brain to American.
Moonlight shone in from a hole in the roof. Despite the broken door, the Gamids weren't coming in. They sounded like they were retreating. There once was an entrance vestibule right here, but it looked as if the interior wall had crumbled away, making the whole area one giant room. Behind me, coughing filled the chamber, which echoed slightly. It smelled of dirt and wet rot in here. The muddy tile floor was covered with moss. Donut cast torch, and the woman... Donut cast torch, and the room filled with a yellow glow, revealing a rotting wood ceiling covered in mold. I have cast a spell. They can't enter for a little while. I have cast a spell. They can't enter for a while. They can't enter for a little while. Asahano called. Asahano called. Here is my shrine. I am stronger in here. I turned to look, and he was in the back of the temple, standing... I turned to look, and he was in the back of the temple, standing over a pile of rocks that glowed green with his presence. Here is my shrine. Here is my shrine. Give me a moment to prepare. Then you must come and repair it, Santero. Then you must come and repair it, Santero. I returned my attention to the red card in my hand. Donut came to look at it.
Carl, why'd you flag that one? That one is ugly! And what kind of name is that?
And it was tough as shit. It's a rare monster, too. It was different than most of the others. We got lucky.
It's weird. And that's a really stupid name. We should be able to rename them. And that's a really stupid name. We should be able to rename them. And that's a really stupid name. We should be able to rename them.
Tuggy card. Rare. Totem card. Skylar Spinach. 2/3 of an enraged Gomid splitter. Level 66. Origin, Cuba. Summoning duration, 60 seconds. Constitution, 90. This is a splitter. It will break into 2 pieces upon a fatal blow, one of which... It will break into 2 pieces upon a fatal blow, one of which will be the primary. It will continue to split until the primary is killed a total of 2 times. Each iteration of the primary will have increased constitution. This is a non-corporeal mob. This is an affliction-dealing mob. Notable attacks: Iced, Dodge, Terrifier, Splitter, plus 5 additional skills and spells. Examine in the Squad Details tab of your interface for full stats and skills and spells. Warning! You have empty slots in your squad. Collecting this card will automatically activate and place this totem into your squad. You may not remove or trade squad members until your squad is full. If you wish to remove a card before your squad is full, you will have to tear the card. Wow. Tuggy the snake? Where'd you get that?
I handed the card off to Donut. This was a type of splitter I'd read about in the Cookbook. I was surprised it said it was level 66. The first iteration of this thing had been level 50. But then I remembered how these things worked. We'd seen similar monsters during the Iron Tangle. You had to kill the brain piece 3 times to properly kill the whole thing. Since I'd killed it once, the card version was only at 2/3 strength. Despite that, this really was a lucky find. Unlike traditional splitters, this one actually got more powerful with each iteration. If we ever got out of this, we needed to get back to the sparring room to see what the final form looked like. It was 4 levels lower than Geraldo the Monk Seal, but this thing was obviously stronger.
What kind of name is Skylar Spinach? Does that mean it's a boy or a girl?
I don't know. We can ask it next time we summon it.
Do you think it's going to always be shrieking? You know how I feel about shrieking, Carl.
Why didn't you use Kitty?
Paz asked, sitting up. Paz asked, sitting up. The terrified debuff was gone. The man looked dazed. He remained there on the floor, rubbing his head. Outside, the Gomids continued to wail, but we couldn't see them, obscured by the smoke and the hanging door. They sounded like they'd moved all the way back to the street.
What?
Let's try this one again. He's a little more dazed.
Why didn't you use Kitty?
Paz asked.
Ew, you hear that little...
Sitting up. Paz asked, sitting...
Where'd he go?
Paz asked, sitting up.
Oh, I guess it was something else.
Use Kitty.
Paz asked, sitting up.
What? Your song.
Paz said. His massive breastplate appeared in his hands, and he slipped it over his head like he was putting on a... His massive breastplate appeared in his hands, and he slipped it over his head like he was putting on a t-shirt. His head popped out the top. He'd also removed his vam braces, and he put them on now. They were designed like arm sleeves, and he was able to get them on easily.
You rhymed pretties with ditties, and then you used cities, and your song got messed up because you paused. You used titties. I'm just wondering why you didn't go with the obvious choice. You're a cat. Kitties. I know what I am. Pause. I know what I am. Pause.
Donut snapped, sounding irritated.
You try to sing under pressure like that. It's not as easy as it looks.
No, I liked it. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
No, I liked it. I'm not trying to be a jerk. You're a good singer.
Donut's attitude changed instantly. She swished her tail.
You really think so?
Yeah, you're great.
The man still seemed dazed, but he was slowly coming out of it.
Yeah, you're great.
The man's... She puffed her chest.
You should have seen me at the Butcher's Masquerade. I was about to win the talent contest, but it got ruined.
I looked about as they continued to chat. Sister Inez and Anton stood, facing Asahano. The Catwoman glared as the Orisha stood over the pile of rocks. The former god was doing a little dance around the rubble, shaking his strange wand. The ruined shrine stood in an alcove against one of the walls in the octagon-shaped room. His was not the only broken monument here. One of the walls was used for the entrance, and there were a total of 7 shrines, one against each wall in the large room. There was enough space in here for maybe 50 people to stand, but... There was enough space in here for maybe 50 people to stand about... There was enough space in here for maybe 50 people to stand about comfortably. A shining ball of light appeared in the middle of the room, its red-yellow light overwhelming Donut's torch. It just popped into existence out of nowhere. It was about the size of a softball, and for a terrifying moment, I thought it was a massive soul crystal. It crackled like a miniature fireball frozen in place. I could feel the heat coming off it. "The spell is forming," Asahano called as he danced.
"The spell is forming!"
Asahano called.
"Nobody must touch the Sun of Reawakening until after the Centero has built... Nobody must touch the Sun of Reawakening until after the Centero has rebuilt my shrine. Nobody must touch the Sun of Reawakening until after the Centero has rebuilt my shrine." I can't yell with his voice.
Nobody must touch the sun of reawakening until after the Centero has rebuilt my shrine. Nobody.
Oh, I feel like I need to go back and redo all of his stuff. Whew. Sorry, guys. It's hot. Yeah. Let's see.
The missiles. Bomo made a sad grunt.
The medal isn't enchanted.
I have full authority.
Not that one.
Administrator Zev.
Exit tonight when the sun descends. You dare speak? Nobody must touch the sun. Nobody. Nobody must touch. Nobody must touch the sun of reawakening until after the Santero has rebuilt my shrine. Donut and Paz stopped talking, and we all focused our attention on the ball. I searched my memory for any mention of such a thing. I sent a quick note to Mordecai, but he said he'd never heard of it. I took another step and tried to examine the object. The description was more than a little ominous.
This magical scoop of light is pretty special. It will only last a short time in this world. If you have a stick and some hot dogs, you can probably get a quick snack in. You'll need your strength for what comes next.
Prepare yourself, Santero! Asahano called. It will be soon.
I still have no idea what I'm supposed to do,
Paz said, as Asahano returned to his ceremonial prayer, humming as he danced around his pile of rocks. I approached the first shrine immediately to my left. It was nothing but a pile of mossy rocks and some dead, desiccated plants, like it had once been a statue of something covered with vines. That had gotten smashed. But no, I realized as I got closer, these were actual chunks of metal, not rocks. It looked as if it had been shattered by something. Before I could even read the info box that popped up, the metallic pieces of the broken shrine glowed, as if they were red hot. Both Anton and Paz let out a gasp.
Fuck me. Fuck me,
Anton said a moment later. I looked about, but I couldn't see what had caused their reaction. From across the room, Asahano slowed his dance. The little ball of light, the sun of reawakening, lost some of its heat, and I realized it was indeed a gem. Not a soul gem. It was like a flaming ruby cut into the shape of a small skull. What's happening? I asked.
We just got a quest from our god, Ogun,
Paz said.
It says we can only fix one shrine. It wants us to fix a different one than Asahano's. Oh, man.
Anton said, worry evident in his voice.
Yeah, it's that one you're looking at. It's a blacksmith's anvil. If we don't do it, we'll get a smite. We gotta put it together, pray over it, and then we put the gem on it. And then we put the gem on it. And then we put the gem on it. And then we pray over it, and we gotta put it together, pray over it, and then we put the gem on it.
What happens then? I asked.
I told you,
Sister Inez hissed.
I told you,
Sister Inez.
I told you,
Sister Inez.
I told you not to worship a false. I told you not to worship a false god. Now what are we going to do? Now what are we going to do?
We can't let them get smited, or smote, or whatever, I said, looking worriedly over at Asahano, who'd stopped dancing and now stood over his rubble, rhythmically shaking his wand. We'll have to kill him.
If we do that, will the Gomeds get better? If we do that, will the Gomeds get better? If not, they'll swarm the building.
Sister Inez asked. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to get better, I said uncertainly. The quest update said we could... The quest update said we could kill this guy.
Maybe Ogan will help us,
Paz said. Wait, is it going to summon him if we fix this thing? I did not like that idea. At all.
I mean, it's his shrine,
Paz said.
He wants us to fix it. I doubt it'll summon him. It's a long story. Apparently he was originally one of these Orishas, but he ascended while the rest of them died or got forgotten or whatever.
Okay. Donut, Bomo, the sister and I will take care of this guy while you two try to fix the shrine. Ready?
I'm still not sure what to do.
Paz said.
I think it's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Anton said.
Look, the pieces aren't as hot anymore.
He bent down to pick one up. And that's when the music started.
All right, that is the end of that chapter. Where are we at on time? Come on now, save. Oh, shit.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. Carl, it sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
Yeah, that sounded
The
great.
Bard's Golden Throat. Enchanted headset microphone. Nuclear power. The airplane. Transistors. Antibiotics. Important inventions and discoveries of the 1900s that...
Yeah.
I
That's
turned
better.
vibrato up to goofy levels. And so
Vibrato, there you go.
That's the key, I think. I had to turn it all the way up to just get it to go crazy no matter what note it hit, you know. But yeah, I think it's coming along.
It happened in September of 1997. That was the day it all changed. That was the day a company called Antares Audio Technologies released into the wild a piece of software that finally cured a horrific disability.
I feel like we need, when we do the this when we eventually get to it in the cinematic, like the audio immersion tunnel version.
Yeah.
We have to have like there has to be a beat behind it. Like, you know, that's one of the most important features is that beat, and then maybe like, you know, like somebody like doing the thing, you know, like, or do like a T-Pain, pseudo T-Pain beat to go behind the explanation. I think that'll bring it home.
All right. So I think I got that right.
Score.
I think we got one more. I got one more chapter in me before 3 o'clock.
That's not a bad idea, Lauren. Good. I like that.
All right, cool. We are all set with that set. Come on now. All right, computer, please work. Come on now. What the hell's going on? All right, I have to quit Ableton because apparently it's crashing. It won't do shit. And now I have to go find my app closing. There it is. Enchanted headset microphone. Nuclear power, the airplane, transistors, antibiotics. Important inventions and discoveries of the 1900s that changed deafness. The cure? It was called auto-tune. The advent of the real-time vocal synthesizer, underprivileged youth.
That was Lauren's idea. I like it.
It was called auto-tune.
It's funny.
I like it.
It's like the worst auto-tune settings ever.
Or the best, depending on how you look at it.
Or the best.
All right. We got 40 minutes. Where are we at? This is chapter 15? Yeah. All right, let me get some more tea and we'll get started on this chapter. That's only after an hour?
Probably more like an hour and a half, close to 2.
And it was probably super hot there to begin with?
It was like 80.
Okay. That is a little slow.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it another hour. I assume the AC person will probably be around right around then. But it doesn't seem to be a huge deal, but it might be worth having them just have a look and make sure that there's nothing going wrong.
Short A. I hope he wrote in some short A's for a donut. All right. Here goes.
Chapter 15.
Note added by Crawler Carl. 25th edition.
After all this time, It's still shocking to me how quickly everything can change.
Combat started!
Betrayal! Asahano shouted, pointing at Anton, who stood with the metal chunk in his hand like a kid who'd been caught stealing. Betrayal! The music was an orchestral mix of distorted, heavy guitars and keyboards. After a moment, I realized it was a bombastic version of the classical song In the Hall of the Mountain King. It sounded like something that heavy metal Christmas band, Trans-Siberian Orchestra would play. Okay, here we go. Donut?
I think she is his sister?
No!
A new voice cried, causing me to pause. This was a female from one spot over from where Asahano stood. She was glowing, ethereal, a ghost. Not corporeal at all. A beautiful, dark-skinned woman in a flowing yellow dress that appeared to be made of light. I felt her charisma like it was a physical thing. It was just like when I'd met Signet for the first time, but stronger. I must protect her, I thought. The name Ocean blazed over her head. It didn't give any other information.
Repair my shrine, she said, pointing at us. I will protect you from any other gods who seeks to harm you. I will give you riches untold. Do not listen to Ogan. Do not listen to Asahano, or any others who appear.
Oh, she's supposed to be, I forgot.
My shrine. Do not listen. I will protect you from any other god who seeks to harm you. I will give you riches untold. Do not listen to Ogan. Do not listen to Asahano. Do not listen to Asahano or any others who appear.
Her voice was seductive, almost like she was whispering right into my ear, despite the rising volume of music. I didn't understand how I could hear her so distinctly. It was almost like she was talking directly in my mind. It felt as if her hand was on my shoulder. Donut said something, but I couldn't hear it over the music. The headset popped back onto her head.
Back to auto-tune.
Carl, you are being Carl, you're being charmed.
She shouted, her voice booming. Then she made a scoffing noise.
Anton, you too?
She turned toward the newcomer.
Stop giving Carl an erection!
I gotta send you that one right away, Ahmed. Let's see here. Where the hell is it? Why? I really hate the search function on Macs sometimes. There it is. It had that file under 2022 in the search for some reason. All right, just sent it through Teams.
This is wrong, I thought. I felt myself take a step toward this Oshun person. She wasn't really here. She was less than a ghost, yet I couldn't take my eyes off her. Asahano had stopped shouting and was now saying something to the newcomer, but I couldn't hear what. Asahano had stopped shouting and was now saying something to the newcomer, but I couldn't hear what. Katya.
Carl, I need you to listen carefully. I'm sending this message just to you, not Donut.
Carl. Bad timing, Katya. I activated my Wisp Armor spell, which was supposed to protect me from mind control. It didn't work. She wasn't mind controlling me. She was charming me with a metric ton of charisma. That was different. God damn it, I thought, as I grabbed the index finger on my left hand. This is gonna suck. I took a breath, and I snapped it. Crack! Gah! Katya.
I don't have time to explain. I don't know exactly where you are or what's happening, but don't touch the shrine you were planning on repairing. Close to you is another one, a broken shrine of Yamaya. Her name is Yamaya. Remember that. It should be blue. If you can only fix one, you have to repair that one. If you do, it will help save both me and Donut.
I cast heal on myself as I read her message a second time, confusion rising. Anton started moving toward Oshun's shrine while Sister Inez and Paz tried to stop him.
You have to break his finger!
Donut yelled.
Goodness, Carl! Goodness! Carl, look at this erection! Good for you, Anton!
Let me try that again.
You have to break his finger! You have to break his finger!
Donut.
Goodness! Carl, look at his erection! Good for you, Anton!
Carl. What? What the hell? Save you and Donut from what? Katya.
Stop. Listen. I have the crown of the sepsis horror on my head, but there's a way out. It won't be easy, and there are a lot of steps, but first we have to resurrect the goddess Yamaya. This is our only chance on this floor. They engineered it this way. I'm sorry, I would have told you sooner, but I thought we had more...
The chat window popped away. What the fuck? What the fucking fuck? The world froze. Anton shouldered away from Paz and Sister Inez and skirted past the glowing ball in the center of the room. He still had the piece of Ogun shrine in his hand. All of us stopped, frozen in place. Two more ethereal forms appeared behind their broken shrines. Both were men, leaving just two piles of debris bare.
New achievement! You have discovered a celestial thorn room! Not a throne room, a thorn room! These things are pretty rare, and a celestial one? Ooh boy, this is gonna be good. You probably don't know what the hell a thorn room is. Don't worry, you gonna learn pretty damn quick. Reward? In the immortal words of the luscious Bret Michaels, every rose has its thorn. Stop giving Carl an erection! I just love it. Wow. How? It sounds like I'm talking through a phone. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
Try the erection one again. See if you can put a vibrato in there somewhere good.
Stop giving Carl an erection. Stop giving Carl an erection. Stop giving Carl an erection.
I'm using a different program, ironically. It's called Melodyne. It actually does a more interesting thing. Like, you have to program autotune to do this like pitch modulation thing, and so it accidentally found a key, I guess, where it made that into like a major run. Like,
Stop giving Carl an erection.
it's totally a melody. I don't think did it have a melody in there when you gave it to me?
I think so.
Yeah, it was Stop giving Carl an erection. Okay.
Stop giving Carl an erection. Stop giving Carl an erection.
Anyway.
Oh, that's good.
We couldn't move, but we could still talk.
Carl, what's happening? Carl, what's happening?
Donut shouted. I was still reeling from Katya's message. How? How did she have the crown of the sepsis whore on her head? The implications were staggering. How did she know what was happening here? I took a deep breath. None of that mattered, not yet. I knew what a thorn room was. We'd be given a series of choices. All of the choices would come with both a positive and negative benefit. The music paused, and then resumed. It came back heavier, likely still part of the same song. It played in the background while the AI, giddy with excitement, made a new announcement.
Boss battle! Boss battle! Boss battle! Thorn room! Thorn room! Man, oh man, here we go. It's time to make a choice. Do you want to fight? Do you want to betray your friends for marvelous riches? It's up to you. 7 shrines, 1 son of reawakening. What you do next will change everything. The choice you make will reverberate not just through your own lives or this floor. It has the potential to change the very nature of the dungeon. Kind of funny how these moments pop up out of nowhere, isn't it? And you thought this 8th floor was just gonna be filler until we get down to the 9th? We don't do that here.
The room suddenly went pitch black. Only the sun of reawakening remained, glowing red and orange. The little gem in the shape of a skull spun like a globe, smoke rising is probably what it should say. The little gem in the shape of a skull spun like a globe, smoke rising from the twin eye holes.
Which shrine will you repair? You can only fix one.
A spotlight appeared, shining down on the first of the 7 broken shrines.
Shrine 1! This is the Shrine of Ogun, god of blacksmiths. As the only one of these Orisha guys to ascend to the halls, he doesn't need his old shrine repaired. He has a whole new generation of followers. But he's kind of a dick and doesn't want any of his old... But he's kind of a dick and doesn't want any of his old family members to get back into the game. But he's kind of a dick and doesn't want any of his old family members to get back into the game. 2 of you already worship him, so it's probably in your best interest to fix this one. If you don't, you 2 will receive a smite. There are no additional benefits to repairing the monument.
The spotlight moved to the next pile of rocks. This one had a... The spotlight moved to the next pile of rocks. This one had a glowing ghost behind it. It was an older man wearing a fedora, casually leaning up against the wall. The dude had a rooster on his... The dude had a rooster on his shoulder. The barely visible, human-like ghost flipped a coin in the air and caught it as the rooster bobbed his head.
Shrine 2! Legba's Shrine. If repaired, will give everyone a 50% chance to avoid all future smites. All will learn the level 15 spell, Confusing Fog. Legba will ascend.
The next shrine was just a pile of rocks. There was no ghost there.
Shrine 3! This is Shango's Shrine. He's a little shy. You will learn a level 15 lightning spell if you repair it. You will gain the ability train. You will gain the ability to train this spell to 20. Hint, hint, that spell might come in handy later. Shango will ascend.
Is it Shango or Shango? Let's look it up.
Stop giving Carl an erection.
Is there a pitch shifter attached to it as well?
Yeah, I have a harmony engine attached to it, which has like 3 or 4 voices.
Stop giving Carl an erection.
That's F Mixolydian, by the way.
Oh my god.
Stop giving Carl an erection.
That's so epic. Okay, so Shango.
Shango.
Shango. Okay, got it right. It does sound like a Queen song. Someone said.
Well, you know, don't know it's a Queen.
Can you send me? Can you export that and send it to me? I'm gonna send it to Matt.
Stop giving Carl an erection.
Oh, that's so good.
Shango will ascend.
The shrine after that was Ocean, the woman who just charmed me.
Shrine 4, Ocean. Sweet, sweet Ocean. If you repair her shrine, you all will be protected from the next 5 fatal blows. Everyone will receive a 50% boost to their charisma. All will receive a level 10 heal party spell. Ocean will ascend.
Then...
Come on. Come on. Stop with the burps.
Then was Asahano, who was frozen in mid-scream. Then was Asahano, who was frozen in mid-scream.
Shrine 5, Asahano, the Lord of Smallpox. You know who this is. He's the reason you're in this pickle in the first place. If you repair his shrine, you will win the quest. The Gomids will all go back to normal. That's it. Asahano will not ascend. He's already proven he's too much of a dangerous asshole to let back into the halls of ascendancy. But if you don't repair his shrine, he will attack and you will have to kill him. That's the boss battle. Don't forget that he's a city boss. He will also break the protection of the chamber, allowing the Gomids to surge into the temple. That will probably suck. Killing him will cure them. I hope.
Fuck, I thought. The next pile was another ghost. All I could see was him from the waist up. He appeared well-muscled, though his facial features were androgynous. a translucent sea serpent of some sort twisted around his body.
Shrine 6! This is Inlay's shrine. All right. Inlay, Einl? Don't know. Don't know how to pronounce that. Inlay?
Wait, what's the word?
I-N-L-E. It's a god. It's a name of a god.
Dinnerman!
I need more reasons to yell at the sky and shake my fist. Find anything?
Yeah, I think I found it. Did you hear that?
Uh-uh.
Wait, you didn't hear that?
Nope.
Oh, what went wrong? Maybe I just share it?
There we go.
Einley.
Einley. What's the ratio? I just looked it up too. It's a 3-to-2 ratio on this one. Likes to dislikes.
Oh, here we go.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello to you, and how are we doing today? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mara Starling. I'm a Swinner, a Welsh folk witch. Here on my channel we discuss all things Welsh, such as Welsh gods, or the magical terminology of Wales. I just love our language, and I think it's important to share our language with the world. Now to yourself, and Nisien. The light side of ourselves. Nisien. Dull land. Just like K. Dull land came from Anarchist. Dull land, Isle, Don. We then have the dark and light, the shadow and light aspects of ourselves. Evnisian, the shadow self, and Nisien, the light side of ourselves. Nisien. A very popular one, especially online at the moment, is Gwyn ap Nudd. Gwyn.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the right person. I think this is not supposed to be Welsh.
It's not Welsh?
Yeah, I don't think this is supposed to be Welsh.
Norse mythology?
Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing...
No. Let's see.
Okay, here's something.
Inley.
It's just 3 votes. Oh, there's a Latin Inley as well.
All right, so it's supposed to all be African culture.
African?
Yeah.
This one's Cuban.
Cuban would probably work. We should just use that. Yeah, Santeria. There we go.
Santeria.
Santeria, sorry. My bad.
Santeria. I only know that because I'm surrounded by Puerto Ricans. Let me see. On all sides. Although it doesn't say the spelling here.
You mean the pronunciation?
Yeah, well, I don't see it here. No.
Here we go. I think you're probably looking at the same thing that Matt just sent me. Yeah. No pronunciation?
Oh, Matt found it? He didn't find it.
No, he found the same thing you found.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm still looking. I feel like this is not it. This is not it. This is the closest thing we got.
Yeah, I guess so. And what was it again? Einley?
Einley.
Einley?
Yeah, hang on, let me just play it. I thought I did play it. What did I do wrong now here? Did you hear it when it played?
Yeah, I did. I can't remember.
Einley.
Einley. That sounds so wrong, even if it's like Spanish or whatever, but
Einley, there's no comments, so I can't even like cross-reference. It's just here it is. Isabella's saying.
Yeah, all right, Matt's saying Einley, so that's what we're doing.
All right.
This is Inlay. This is Mother of Pearl Inlay. This is Einley's shrine, one of only two of the Orishas to have spent time in the nothing, the deaf and mute Einley. One of only two of the Orishas to have spent time in the nothing, the deaf and mute Einley isn't all there. That's a nice way of saying he's batshit. But he once was a healing god. If you repair his shrine, you will gain immunity from most health-seeping conditions. You will gain 50% to your constitution. Einley will not ascend. He'll end up back in the nothing. He doesn't know that yet, so don't tell him. Probably be pretty funny, considering how much time he spent getting himself out. The spotlight focused on the final shrine. I tensed. This was the one. Shrine 7! This is Yamaya, the River Mother. This one almost made it to the halls on her own, but she couldn't keep her power. Time is funny like that, isn't it? One day you're on top of the world, the next people don't even remember who you are. Her good friend, the goddess Eileithia? Hold on. I'm going to try to look this one up. Eileithia. Eileithia? Eileithia? Oh, there. Matt's back in the chat. Einley. Yes. Yeah. Eileithya. This one's Greek.
Greek goddess. I found the actual, like, except it doesn't make sense here. Hang on. Why is it so small? That's hilarious. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Read that.
Oh, that thing? That I have no fucking idea what that means.
What the hell is that shit? That's like not even...
You pronounce it in a different language. That's what it's saying. It's supposed to be an alien word.
Elusive. This is not helping. Hang on. Legend of Zero Dawn? Is that a character from that game or something?
Maybe.
Leithia goddess.
Here we go.
Alright, here we go.
Pronouncenames.com.
Ilithia.
All right. The easiest possible way.
Ilithia.
I'm doing
Why
it.
is he holding that easy?
Remember who? I don't know.
Ilithia.
Ilithia.
The next people don't even... I believe him.
I do too.
The next people don't even remember who you are. Her good friend, the goddess Ilithia, misses her so very much.
If you repair this monument, Yemaya will ascend. She will gift each squad with a special card. In addition, her friend Elethea will grant each of you a single boon. And that's it! Man, I can't wait to see how this turns out. I really hope y'all are on the same page here, and there aren't... I really hope y'all are on the same page here, and there aren't any secret motivations that will cause conflict within your group. That would be really awkward. We start in 5 seconds.
All right. And I think I'm going to call it for today. We got 5 minutes left till 3 o'clock. I got an appointment at 3 o'clock. So thank you guys for coming. The chapter is not over. So tomorrow we will pick back up exactly where we started. And remember, tomorrow I'm starting at 6 p.m. CT. That will be very late for a lot of you European folks, everybody, across the ocean and shit. But I'm kind of banking on the idea that all of us Yanks, or most of us Yanks, will be off work at this time, and that everybody here can try and get their friends and family to come in as well to get us that 1,500 viewers.
It was called auto-tune.
Ooh, nice. So yeah, thanks again everyone for coming. I'm gonna real quick do a quick spiel. Be sure to check the description under the video for links to whatever you want. The Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon cinematic audio, the Audible versions of Dungeon Crawler Carl, Matt's Patreon, our website, so you can subscribe to our newsletter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We have almost crossed the 6,000 mark for members, so really looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys can help us with that. And is there anything else? Oh yeah, A Summoner Awakens on Audible. Go pick that one up. It is a tower climber lit RPG where I try to imitate an old version of Cillian Murphy from Peaky Blinders. So once again, so much appreciation for how many of you have shown up, how many of you have been consistently here. It's been a blast. So happy to have you while I am narrating. And tomorrow is the last cold read, the last opportunity you guys will have to bring 1,500 plus viewers so that we can have our tattoo design contest. Really appreciate it, everybody. Y'all have a good day, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Laters!